Hey everyone, Rob from Karma Comment Chameleon coming at you with some cringe. What's a joke that's so stupid it's funny? Let's jump right in. Knock knock, who's there? Quiet horse. Quiet horse who? Nay. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels. What's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with breast implants? One's a crusty bus station, the other is a busty crustacean. What's the best thing about Switzerland? Well, the flag's a big plus. To be frank, I'd have to change my name. Statistically, 6 out of 7 dwarves are not happy. How do you think the unthinkable? With an iceberg. I know a really stupid knock-knock joke, I just need someone else to start it for me. I bought the world's worst thesaurus today. Not only was it terrible, but it was also terrible. I have no words to describe how angry I am. Have you ever smelled mothballs before? How do you get their little legs apart? A Lepers hockey game was cancelled due to a face-off in the corner. Why can't the Pope be cremated? 'Cause he's alive! There are no divorce courts at the North Pole, so when Santa and his wife wanted to split up, they got a semicolon. They're great for separating independent clauses. A drummer's wife had quadruplets. He wanted to name each one Anna. She asked how will they tell them apart. He replied, Anna 1, Anna 2. Being told I was deaf was really hard to hear. 2 pretzels were walking down a back alley. One was assaulted. I told my mom that when I'm older, I was going to build a car out of spaghetti. You should have seen her face when I drove pasta. While using the stepladder, someone said, "What do you need that ladder for?" I replied, "I never knew my real ladder. This is just my stepladder." But he raised me nevertheless. Why don't chickens wear underwear? Because their pecker is on their face. Steak jokes are a rare medium well done. 2 hunters are out in the woods when one of them collapses. He doesn't seem to be breathing and his eyes are glazed. The other guy whips out his phone and calls the emergency services. He gasps, "My friend is dead, what can I do?" The operator says, "Calm down, I can help. First, let's make sure he's dead." There is a silence, then a shot is heard. Back on the phone, the guy says, "Okay, now what?" What did the grape say when the elephant sat on it? Nothing, but it let out a little whine. Courtesy of my daughter, what do you call a broken can opener? A can't opener. Why'd the old man fall down the well? Because he couldn't see that well. Why did Edward Woodward have so many D's in his name? Why? Because without them, he'd have been called Ewar Woowar. You can't run through a campsite. You can only ran because it's past tense. I saw a nice stereo on Craigslist for $1. Seller says the volume is stuck on high. I couldn't turn it down. I have many jokes about unemployed people. Sadly, none of them work. What do you get when you cross a joke with a rhetorical question? A man walked into a zoo. There was one dog. It was a Shih Tzu. What did one nut say when it was chasing the other nut? I'm a cashew. What do you get when you combine a dyslexic, an insomniac, and an agnostic? Someone who lies awake at night wondering if there's a dog. What was E.T. short for? Because he had little legs. What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. What do you call a magic dog? A labracadabrador. They say smoking kills, but it cures salmon. Why do chicken coops have 2 doors? Because if they had 4, they'd be chicken sedans. What do we want? Airplane noises. When do we want them? Meow. What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies! A priest, a pastor, and a rabbi walk into a bar. The bartender says, "What is this, some kind of joke?" Two cows are standing in a field. The first cow says to the second, "Have you heard about this mad cow disease? It makes cows go crazy and then they die." The second cow replies, "Good thing I'm a helicopter." Why do scuba divers jump backwards out of the boat? Because if they jump forward, they'd still be in the boat. A Mexican magician told his audience he was going to vanish on the count of 3. He counted 1, 2, and disappeared without a trace. What did Stevie Wonder say to the seagull? "I can't see shit." A pirate walks into a bar. He's walking bow-legged because he has a steering wheel chain between his knees. The bartender asks the obvious, "Why do you have a steering wheel chain between your legs?" The pirate answers, "Yar, I don't know, but it's driving me nuts." What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. Hey, guess what? What? Good guess. Guy walks up to the widow at her husband's funeral and says, "May I just say one word?" "Sure," she replies. "Plethora." The widow says, "Thanks, that means a lot." A man at a funeral approaches the widow and says, "May I just say a few words?" "Sure," she replies. "El mundo." The widow says, "Thanks, that would have meant the world to him." A man approaches the widow and says, "May I just say one word?" "Sure," she replies. "Infinity." The widow says, "Thank you, that means more than you know." A man approaches the widow and says, "May I just say one word?" "Sure," she replies. "Discount." The widow says, "Thank you, that means a great deal." A man approaches the widow and says, "May I just say one word?" "Sure," she replies. "Lot." The widow says, "Thank you, that's a lot coming from you." A man approaches the widow and says, "May I just say one word?" "Sure," she replies. "That." The widow says, "Thank you, he would have liked to hear that." Why can't hedgehogs just share the hedge? A naked guy just dunked his balls in glitter. That's pretty nuts. A skeleton walks into a bar. He goes up to the bartender and says, "I'd like a beer and a mop." Why does Waldo wear stripes? Because he doesn't want to be spotted. Why do ducks have feathers? To cover their butt quacks. What's green and has wheels? Grass. I lied about the wheels. Two men walked into a bar, and the third guy ducked. What do you call a sad cup of coffee? Depresso. Why do elephants paint their toenails red? So they can hide in cherry trees. Ever seen an elephant in a cherry tree? Works pretty well, doesn't it? A plateau is the highest form of flattery. An Irishman walks out of a bar. Say what you want about deaf people. Why did Sarah fall off the swing? Because she had no arms. Knock knock. Who's there? Not Sarah. A termite walks into a bar and asks, "Where's the bartender?" Do any of you have experience making Moroccan rolls? I found a recipe in a magazine, but I wasn't sure about it because the recipe calls for thyme and a bunch of other spices. I had them all, but unfortunately they were all expired. I decided to make them anyways, took them to a party, and they ended up all being eaten. Everyone thought they were delicious. I guess what they say is true. People love that old-time Moroccan roll. What side of a duck has the most feathers? The outside. Why did David Hasselhoff change his name to the Hoff? It's less hassle. My wife told me to stop acting like a flamingo. I had to put my foot down. What did the turkey say to the turkey hunter? Quack. Two blondes fell down a hole. One said, "It's dark in here, isn't it?" The other replied, "I don't know, I can't see." How do you get a one-armed redneck out of a tree? Wave at him. Have you ever told 65 lame jokes and by the end they're just not funny to you anymore? Huh. This is Rob from Karma Comic Chameleon saying thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share the video with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.